Jails are beginning to look at new ways to protect inmates during this unprecedented time. Hear what one jailer is doing.
As the coronavirus pandemic continues to spread, officials from both the Powell County and Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team are suggesting hikers try to avoid the Red River Gorge to help prevent any further spread of the virus.
And sunshine returns tomorrow, but how long will it last? I'll have those details right now at 4:30.
The surge of COVID-19 cases across the nation and Bluegrass persists. We have talked a lot about what nursing homes and other facilities are doing to prevent COVID-19 cases from spreading, but jails are also taking as many precautions as possible. WYMT's Emily Bennett went to the Leslie County Jail today to see how they are operating. Emily?
Steve, today I talked to jailer Danny Clark, who says the Leslie County Jail is basically on lockdown. Nobody in or out except employees, and every employee has their temperature checked before they can be let in. This also applies to every new inmate. A nurse checks their temperature, and then they are placed in a smaller cell up front for 2 weeks before being put in a cell with inmates who have been there already. Clark also told me he has medical cells available that are negative pressure for any inmate who might get sick. All non-emergency doctor trips have been canceled, and all outside work programs have been stopped, limiting any exposure to the inmates.
When we were on the conference call with the governor and his medical thing, they told us that they considered us a land-based cruise ship and that we had to take all necessary precautions, and I am doing everything that they ask us to do.
Now, Clark has said that he has identified about 15 inmates that would be considered high risk for COVID-19. He says they're checking their temperature twice a day just to make sure they're okay. Live in Hazard, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Emily, thank you very much. So let's take a look at the map of Kentucky ahead of tonight's update from Governor Beshear, which you can see live here, of course, at 5 o'clock. Now, as of yesterday, there are coronavirus cases in 36 of Kentucky's 120 counties. Most of those are in central Kentucky, but we are beginning to see more positive cases this week in southern and eastern Kentucky. We have this just in from the Lake Cumberland District Health Department, where several more positive cases are reported today. As of this morning, there is one new case in Pulaski County, and that brings the total to 5 there. Also 3 new cases in Wayne County. So we know there will be more new cases reported from Governor Beshear in just a little bit. Several new cases are also being reported in Lexington today too. So again, just stay tuned for the governor's news conference at 5. I'm sure he will announce several more cases of COVID-19 across the state. Well, the University of Kentucky is under a hiring freeze because of COVID-19. President Eli Capilouto says this freeze begins immediately. It includes staff, administrative, full-time, and part-time positions. Dr. Capilouto says it does not apply to student employment. UK Healthcare is still able to hire employees. Anyone else will have to apply for an exception. A new study suggests Kentucky is doing pretty well when it comes to social distancing, but we could be doing a little more. The website Unicast scored every state to determine which part of the country is doing the most to stop the spread of COVID-19. The site based its analysis by looking at cell phone data to determine the average distance traveled by people in each state. Kentucky scored a B, meaning we saw a 30 to 40% decrease in distance traveled compared to before the outbreak. Health experts say social distancing is the most effective way to stop the spread of COVID-19. With at least 163 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Kentucky and 4 deaths, a lot of work continues to try and protect those here in the Commonwealth. During a Facebook Live Issues and Answers earlier today, a healthcare expert answered numerous questions. WYMT's Lacey Roberts is in the newsroom with more. Lacey?
Yeah, as you mentioned, the number of confirmed cases continues to increase in the state. And as of lately, we are seeing those numbers of confirmed cases come into Eastern Kentucky and our viewing area. Now, this afternoon, we had the opportunity to talk with Public Health Director Scott Lockard. During the session, Lockard clarified that you should call your doctor before coming in if you are feeling sick so that they can further direct you on your symptoms and what to do next. He also addressed how continuing social distancing is helping if followed properly. Now, one question that is frequently asked is the wearing of gloves and face masks in public going to hurt or help people from contracting the virus?
Guidance from the CDC does not recommend wearing masks and gloves just out in the general public. The problem is right now there's such a shortage because there's been so much panic buying of these items that people that actually need them can't get them.
Lockard mentioned new cases are closer to areas of the Kentucky River District, such as Laurel and Breathitt counties, but to remain calm and to follow those recommended guidelines and, of course, continue to wash your hands and social distance.
Lacey Roberts in our newsroom. Thank you very much. By the way, that Facebook Live episode of Issues and Answers with Public Health Director Scott Lockard is on our Facebook page if you would like to see it all. It's an hour long. We covered a lot of ground. As schools continue to hold class in non-traditional ways, teachers are thinking outside the box to reach students. Angela Campbell is a second grade teacher at Jackson City School. Monday, she wanted to get out and see her students and make sure they were okay. Campbell and her daughter loaded up in her car and drove to her students' houses. When she would pull up, the teacher of 21 years held up a sign that read, "I love and miss you."
They were very shocked, I think. You know, some were still in pajamas and parents as well, and that was fine. I mean, that's what I expected, you know, to catch them off guard a little bit. After each stop, I would kind of get a little bit emotional, and my daughter's like, "Mom, why do you cry after, you know, you see each one of your kids?" And I told her, I said, "My baby, if you don't love what you do when you get grown, you need to find another job."
Campbell said she reached half of her houses and she plans to get the others left by the end of the week. With nicer weather on the way and some parks closing due to the coronavirus, search and rescue officials in Powell and Wolfe counties are expecting more people to crowd into the Red River Gorge. But they say this will put extra pressure on agencies that oversee safety in the area and put more people at risk. Adam Berniston talked with these officials about their concerns today.
While the governor has yet to close the Red River Gorge, officials from both the Powell County and Wolfe County search and rescue teams are encouraging folks to get outside closer to home and avoid the gorge to help further prevent the spread of the coronavirus. According to John May, the director of the Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team, in the past week, they have already responded to 5 calls for lost or injured hikers. Of those 5 rescues, all but 1 were of people from out of town. With warmer and drier weather returning for a short while, May expects the gorge to become even more overcrowded with people, which could not only help spread COVID-19, but this also puts his team and the local community at risk of the virus. While search and rescue expects to be dispatched over the next few days, May says they're trying to do what they can to keep protected.
When a call comes in, you know, I evaluate the situation, and instead of sending 10 to 12 people out for someone that's lost, we'll send 4. So we're trying to minimize the number of people we put in harm's way.
Now, to help further prevent the spread of COVID-19 here in the gorge, Natural Bridge Skylift has also been closed for the time being. In the Red River Gorge, Adam Berniston, WYMT Mountain News.
May says while his team has acquired a limited amount of N95 masks, they are still in need of more and are also searching for hand sanitizer so they can stay better protected.
Started out a little bit on the gloomy side today, but that sunshine is now moved back in and it'll stick around for a little bit. We'll go ahead and take you up to a few of those cameras, looking at our UVA WISE camera. Quiet over there as students are not on campus, but you can see that those clouds clearing out quite nicely and finally seeing some sunshine. Looking over into Jackson at the National Weather Service camera, mid to upper 50s, 57 right now. Just a few clouds, and as we look at temperatures across the mountain, some areas getting close to 60, especially down into into Harlan and Middlesboro. Those upper 50s for most of us down into the Cumberland Valley. So those clouds have been clearing out throughout the day, and we'll continue to see most of them get out of here, especially as we head into tonight, which will make for a very gorgeous Thursday. It'll be a little bit chilly tonight. Those lower 40s will hang on to a few clouds here and there, but overall we will see those mostly clear skies. And like I said, tomorrow's forecast is looking pretty perfect. I'll have those details coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. Early this morning, Senate and White House negotiators reached a deal on a rescue package to inject nearly $2 trillion into the economy. The deal comes as President Trump is looking to get Americans in many parts of the country out of the house and back to work. The bill includes a direct cash payment of up to $1,200 for most working Americans, $3,000 for the average family. It also expands unemployment insurance from 26 to 39 weeks for most people and boosts benefits by $600 a week through July. There are now more than 60,000 cases of coronavirus in the United States. More than 800 people have died. New York accounts for more than half of those cases, most of them in New York City. Military personnel loaded supplies onto the U.S. Comfort Hospital ship. It is getting ready to deploy there. Around the country, retired doctors and nurses are answering the call for help as well. Respiratory therapist Michelle Petticone left her practice 2 years ago to teach, but is now returning to the front lines.
Seeing how desperate the patients are and how desperate my coworkers are, there's no way I could just sit home and read their stories and not do something about it.
For most people, the coronavirus causes only mild or moderate symptoms, and those with mild illness recover in about 2 weeks. Coming up on Mountain News at 4:30, need something for your children to do while at home? Meet a local artist making them coloring sheets.
And sunshine is returning right now. Going to stick around for a little bit. Temperatures will start to warm up, but when will we see those rain chances return again? I'll have that answer coming up in a little bit.